all the lefties who talk about ending the occupation, they mean Israel's occupation. But again, it's Hamas that occupies Gaza. This is going to be bloody. It's going to be awful. Gazans will suffer. Israel must stamp out Hamas. Last week, it was just after dawn, Saturday, in a field in the south of Israel. A rave was finishing up, basically. All night open air dance festival. And then the paragliders came in. Hamas terrorists landing, shooting, raping, 260 dead. Others taken captive, hauled to a horrible fate inside Gaza. And in America, democratic socialists and so-called pro-Palestinian activists cheered. They cheered at a rally in Times Square at mention of the paragliders coming in to the rave. Activists in Chicago and California featured the paraglider as a symbol on their posters for rallies for support of, supposedly, they said, of Palestine. Hamas is not Palestine. Hamas occupies Gaza, keeps the people there hostage, all of them, all 2 million, and has for years, ever since they took over. Israel held off, even as rockets and missiles came into Israel from Gaza. It didn't want to go in. Now these atrocities leave it no choice. It must stamp out Hamas. The people of Gaza will suffer. They're suffering now from shut off power, shut off water, and medical supplies. But Hamas has left Israel no choice. This is going to be bloody. It's going to be awful. Gazans will suffer. Hamas is telling people not to evacuate. It wants as many Gazan deaths as possible as part of its sick propaganda scheme. It wants to make Israel suffer even more, suffer in the world's eyes as cynical outsiders say, oh, this is disproportionate response. There is no proportionate response to this horror of rape, of murder, of targeting of civilians. There is no better alternative than the liberation of Gaza from the Hamas occupation. Israel won't be burning babies, won't be beheading babies. It'll be doing its best to minimize civilian casualties, even as Hamas does its best to maximize them. Every death in Gaza is on Hamas and is on its paymasters in Iran, the ones who clearly gave the go-ahead for this assault. President Biden and Secretary of State Blinken say that America has Israel's back, that we will be with them as Israel does what it must. I pray that that holds true. There are no good answers now. There's only this must end, and Israel is doing what it must to bring an end to the barbarism of Hamas. There's only a better future without Hamas, and hopefully someday a better future without the regime in Tehran that ordered these atrocities.